province as a whole doesn't have its own separate identity, but its regions and cities do. Their hobbies are drinking beer, rolling in the mud, and catching hot.
Their hobbies are drinking beer? Isn't drinking beer like the hobby in every province here? Hi YouTube, welcome back in hell. My name is Cypress and today we'll be watching another video that got recommended to me by a viewer. This is all 12 Dutch provinces stereotypes explained by Well. Before we start the video, I do want to let you guys know that I have a gaming channel called Cypress Play, so if you want to see me play games or react to more gaming content, please go check out that channel and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Drenthe.
Drenthe province exists only in myths. In the real world, there's no place for such a landmass. In fact, I was paid by some Drenthe believers to make a section for
Drenthe, what Brent? What the f is Brent aside? Drenthe believers?
In this video. Shut up! Drenthe exists. Have you ever been there? No.
I think I've been there. No, I have to have been there. I have been there. I went, I think, once with elementary school to see the Hunnebedden in Drenthe. Those are like, what would you call Hunnebedden? Like burial chambers, places made out of stones, like really big stones.
Have you ever met someone that could prove they were from there? No. Then how the hell do you know it exists?
Okay, I do have to say that I actually never have met anyone that is from Drenthe. How do you know it exists?
Drenthe is like the Dutch Wyoming. A lot of people question its existence, it's green, and has some great nature.
I'm not gonna lie, I always forget that Drenthe exists.
Yeah, when the people from the west get tired of the noise and hustling, come to this province to chill and enjoy the nature. Drenthe ain't such a high priority for the Dutch government. Yeah, they were the backwater of the Netherlands for a long time. Because up to like 100 years ago, most parts of the province were still marshy and inaccessible. Even when the Dutch were the 7 united provinces,
oh, there we have it, the Hunnebedden.
8th province. So yeah, no one cared about them. What is it? Am I too poor to hang out with?
Wow, do you really wanna know?
Hey,
no, I feel sad for him now.
They were once the most populated region of the country.
Hey, and that's all that matters, right? At least you were once.
Prehistoric times though. And they have some ancient rocks and tombstones to prove it. But now the situation has much improved. The province is very rural and there are not many jobs. And since most of the young population leaves the region, there are 3 groups of people there. 1. Boomers from Randstad who complain a lot. 2. Kids. And 3. Down-to-earth farmers.
2 kids, wow, okay.
Farmers with a dry sense of humor and a strong dialect. But in general, the people, especially the village folks, are very lovely and friendly. And finally, the capital city Assen is a mid-sized charming place with a little bit of everything.
Ooh. Flevoland.
These are the guys who reclaimed their land from the sea. Flevoland is the youngest Dutch province to be created. I mean, they literally created it by draining parts of IJsselmeer, which was a shallow inland sea. As a result, it's windy and flat, and after—
Sorry, wait, how did he say that?
Created it by draining parts of IJsselmeer.
IJssel? These are just auto captions. IJsselmeer.
Shallow inland sea. As a result, it's windy and flat, and afterwards, the land was colonized by the overflow of Amsterdam. Alongside Drenthe, they're amongst the most forgettable provinces. Maybe because it's a new province. Yeah, lots of Dutch people believe that it's—
I want to say it's not really forgettable for me, but I could be biased because I lived there for a short while.
Boring and it lacks history, soul, character, and such. But hey, that's the case with almost all new regions in the country. They always get bullied by the older regions. About some cities, Urk used to be an island. They're really religious, and it's like Alabama. Enough said. The capital city, Lelystad, is modeled after American cities, but it feels quite Dutch, and it's been in development since like forever.
Oh, was it supposed to look like American cities? I didn't know that.
In Lelystad, you'll meet all sorts of people, and outsiders always make fun of it or criticize it. But even locals do that, so you can blame them. Overall, the city is nothing crazy and not as bad as they say it is. It's just sort of the place people go when they want to work a lot, save, and then go to another place. And Almere is another commuter town for those who are too poor to live in Amsterdam. It's basically
too poor
like
to live in Amsterdam.
They get lots of hate, like being ugly and such, but hey, it's
I don't think Almere is that ugly. Amsterdam is ugly. What?
Close to Amsterdam, and it doesn't have to be a crazy vibrant place. It's just a cozy little bedroom town.
I don't know. I thought Almere was pretty nice. Compared to where I grew up most of my childhood, I was like, Almere is pretty cool, aesthetic-wise.
You just have to go to sleep early.
Go to sleep early. Friesland.
The land of sober folks who have their own distinct language and culture. They're stereotyped to be stubborn, tall blondes who are always speed skating or ice skating, and they speak Frisian, which is incomprehensible for the
I think I've never been in Friesland before. No, I'm pretty sure I never went actually.
rest of the country. So based on that, they kind of remind me of Nords from Skyrim. Tall, blonde, and speak a language that no one understands. But don't worry, almost all of them speak Dutch with no problem. Also English. During the day, they all do these 4 things. Working in their farms, waiting for the lakes to freeze so they could ice skate,
Every day? Also in summer? They wait?
jumping over canals using big sticks, and sailing schutje. The people from Friesland love eating pea soup and sugar bread all.
I love pea soup, man. I love pea soup so much.
They say that they want to secede, but I don't think it's that serious. It's just out there. Friesland has a rivalry with the neighboring province Groningen, and they make fun of it.
How did he say Groningen? Wait, he said it really cute. Did he say Groningen?
With the neighboring province Groningen, and they
He said Groningen. Groningen. How cute.
there ain't much of an industry there unless you want to count grandpas who grow potatoes as industry. What else? The women in this province are beautiful, and the people are nice and their
Oh yeah, Duitse Cruise is really pretty. Yep, really beautiful. I agree.
kindness goes beyond the simple pleasantries. Personally, their flag is my favorite. It just looks so pleasing to the eyes. And by the way, these red things are lily pads, not hearts. At first, I thought they're hearts.
Wait. I also thought they were hearts.
Leeuwarden is the provincial capital. The city is very old and it dates back to at least the Roman era. Most people in Leeuwarden speak urban Frisian, which is actually a Dutch dialect and not the real Frisian language. This is one of the reasons other Frisians are not too fond of the people from the capital. It's also filled with students and the nightlife is alright because of them. So if you like a small city with a village feeling, then Leeuwarden is for you. The city of Drenthe as well is one of the oldest cities in the Netherlands, and it's fine. If you're liking the video so far, please subscribe and check out my other Stereotypes videos.
Gelderland.
The province as a whole doesn't have its own separate identity, but its regions and cities do. Their hobbies are drinking beer, rolling in the mud, and catching hot.
Their hobbies are drinking beer. Isn't drinking beer like the hobby in every province here?
And they do some farming in between all these. They're also very religious, so don't mow your lawns on a Sunday. People from southern Gelderland are basically backup Brabantians. In Veluwe,
What?
everyone's
Did you say back up?
Land are basically backup Brabantians.
Oh, yeah, he said
In
backup.
Veluwe, everyone's a forest dweller who hunts for a living and hates wolves. The region is a protected nature reserve, and everything, including the villages and even the people, remind you of how things were during the 1950s. People from the Achterhoek region are farmers with a strong
Achterhoek?
dialect who make beer and drink way too much of it. And VTUBER is where fruits
VTUBER?
are produced. Yeah, they really care about the fruits. Arnhem is the capital city. It's not too big or too busy. They have a friendly rivalry with people from Nijmegen. It's mainly because of their local derby, or maybe because people from Nijmegen think they're the ones who are supposed to be the capital city. Nijmegen is stereotyped to be filled with
I do have to say, for some reason it does feel like Nijmegen is supposed to be the capital of Gelderland, but somehow it's Arnhem.
Nijmegen is stereotyped to be filled with commies. Well, that's an exaggeration, but it's quite left-wing, which is kind of surprising because the neighboring areas are conservative. Also, there are lots of students there and the nature is great.
Yes. I guess like because of the students. It feels like it was supposed to be Nijmegen, or like it would make sense if it was Nijmegen, but it's not.
Limburg is filled with friendly people who are all experts in making pastries. Yeah, they're basically reserved Belgians who are tucked in the corner of
I
the
love
country
Limburg's
and have a
fly.
suspiciously German-sounding accent. And I think they have more in common with German Rhinelanders than, say, Randstad. Because of their accent, people from other provinces have a hard time understanding them. Some say that the accent sounds like everything they say is a question, and they think that the people from there are the closest thing that the Netherlands has to Belgians. Belgians? We don't need Belgians. We have Belgians at home. Compared to
Belgians
other
at home.
provinces, they're more laid back, less serious, and they love nothing more than going to carnivals. They even have
Oh, yeah.
Oktoberfest there. The province
Yeah.
is culturally isolated and mostly conservative and religious, except maybe for the city of Maastricht. It also isn't as
Maastricht?
crowded as other places, and it isn't as flat as a pancake like the rest of the country.
True.
They actually have hills,
True,
but get
true.
floods. One thing you may notice there is that the people are less direct, which could be a good thing, but some consider this dishonest and backhanded. The capital city Maastricht feels more like a mixture of German Aachen and
I don't know, man. I don't know anyone from Limburg, so I don't know how that feels.
It has some beautiful medieval architecture and the typical Dutch canals. Because of its university, the city is very vibrant, especially during Christmas time. And it's quite a small, progressive and left-wing. Also look up Maastricht Syndrome.
Maastricht Syndrome? Wait, what the f*** is Maastricht Syndrome? Maastricht Syndrome is an informal term for a sexual low experienced by individuals, particularly students in Maastricht, Dutch city where the term originated. It is believed to be caused by external factors like stress and imbalance in the ratio of potential partners or environmental factors. A variation of the term used mainly online refers to a low sexual availability for women in a city like Maastricht due to a higher number of female students compared to male students. Oh, I didn't know about that. North
Brabant province, also known as the area below the rivers. The people there are super kind and welcoming until you somehow insult their province. They're known for their burgundy-like behavior, which basically means that they like eating, drinking beer, and living their life to the fullest. And the people are very proud of their identity and love their carnivals and sausage rolls.
I was about to say, I haven't eaten a worstbroodje in so long.
To the fullest. And the people are very
I used to be obsessed with these.
Proud of their identity and love their carnivals and sausage rolls. As I said, they're quite the party people, but if they catch you not joining the party, they're gonna punch your throat.
They're gonna punch your throat. Oh shit. Okay, that's a place where I should not be hanging out because I don't party.
If with Limburg, they're actually quite similar and do everything in a slightly different way. The rural parts of the province consist of pig farms and rednecks. North Brabant people are also considered devout Christians, and they always keep saying that they're different from the rest of the country and that they're much more welcoming.
I'm not like
and
the other
Dutch
girls.
People consider them sneaky and not direct enough. 's-Hertogenbosch is the capital city and it means Duke's Forest. It's a nice city with some character. It isn't a big city but quite relaxed.
I'm not gonna lie, the only reason I've been in 's-Hertogenbosch is because I needed a train.
Green and has a medieval vibe to it. Eindhoven is another city in this province which claims to be the craziest city in the country. The people look down on Limburg, but Limburgers join them when they're talking about how they could never live above the rivers. The Liberation Day is a big deal there and they love celebrating it. To be honest, they're just looking for any excuse to party. For more info, watch this movie.
New kids! North Holland.
Some countries refer to the Netherlands as Holland. Well, technically, Holland refers to the historical region of Holland, which now is divided into two provinces of North and South Holland.
Yes.
North Holland is very crowded and diverse, and there are lots of hardworking cheeseheads there. They're stereotyped as loud and obnoxious people, specifically if they're from Amsterdam. But don't worry, they're friendly and really energetic. Haarlem, the capital city, is filled with posh yuppies who are quiet and don't want to be the center of attention. So yeah, they're balling. There's even a saying that goes, solid stool comes in many forms, but in Haarlem, they only poop diamonds. Also, it is said that they're very stiff and stingy with money, and that they're the ones...
Oh, sorry. Need to cuddle cat. Are you giving ASMR? What are you doing? Cat ASMR.
Also, it is said that they're very stiff and stingy with money, and that they're the ones who speak the standard Dutch. In my opinion, the city is kind of the perfect blend of big and small. It has a good equilibrium, and it's kind of like a scaled down, more compact version of Amsterdam.
I don't remember what Haarlem is like. I had aunts living there, and I would visit them because they have, you know, my female cousins, and I always got like sent to my aunts by my dad because he was like, there are only boys here. You need to go there, be among the females. So he would send me to them a lot when I was younger, but because I was so young, I don't really remember the city itself that much.
Of restaurants and cafes per square kilometer in the Netherlands, and everything is within walking or cycling distance. God, I love this about this country. Haarlem neighborhood in New York City is named after Harlem, just like how Brooklyn is named after Brooklyn. Amsterdam, the capital city of the country. Of course, just like any other capital city, they're stereotyped as obnoxious, loud people who think they're in the center of the universe, and others hate them for that. The people from other provinces also think Amsterdam isn't even Dutch anymore, and they say instead it's like an international tourist trap where no one speaks the language. That is true.
That is true. People just automatically, at least my last few visits to Amsterdam, everywhere I went, everyone just assumed that you're a foreigner. So they they talk to you in English and feels kind of weird because I can hear them talk Dutch to each other behind the counter. So it's like, okay, well, am I supposed to answer in English or in Dutch?
The place is filled with tourists and has a crazy high tourist to resident ratio. And they think all of the Netherlands is like Amsterdam, and the rest is just a bunch of windmills and tulip fields. On the other hand, people from Amsterdam think anything outside the A10 ring is total wilderness, and they see all of the rural people as ignorant conservatives who cannot think straight. So as I said, it's a two-way street. They make fun of each other all the time, and they do it in a mockery, bantering kind of way. They also compare everything to Amsterdam and always say, well, that's not how it's done in Amsterdam. If I wanted to describe the city, I would say it's a sinner's paradise as well as a cyclist's paradise. But if I wanted to really describe it, I'd say it's like a dark Disneyland on steroids. With all those tourists who go there for those streets with red lights and a certain kind of plant. There's a huge
It's so busy and the roads make me scared. There's so many cars, there's so many bikes, there's so many, just too many everything.
Between them and Rotterdam, which spikes to its highest during the football season. About the housing, well, the rents will make you cry, and if you could get a house, that'll be the biggest accomplishment of your whole life. Nothing will come even close. And there's just a lot going on in there. And there's so much to say that I could make a whole video about it. So I will leave it at that. And finally, about the people from Alkmaar, they eat a lot of cheese.
Alkmaar, they eat a lot of cheese and that's it? That's all you have to say about them.
South Holland is the money-making province, and the people think of South Holland cities before the province itself. The Hague is the capital city, and it's the home of both the Dutch government and the football club ADO Den Haag, and they have a fierce rivalry.
I don't mind saying it, but I'm originally from The Hague. I was born here, and most of my upbringing I have spent in The Hague. And I'm fine with saying this because I don't live there anymore.
Fierce rivalry with Ajax Amsterdam. People from there have a habit of chugging 500 milliliters of beer while riding a scooter. The Hague is where the money is spent and is filled with antisocial people, diplomats, politicians, and government workers.
Antisocial people for real, for real, for real.
The city is kind of like Rotterdam but without a port, and it has an economy that runs on civil servants going out to eat. Yeah, you might spot the politicians in bars, restaurants, or coffee shops. The city is relatively cheap and very multicultural, so lots of immigrants, or the ones who want to be called expats. Rotterdam, the city of skyscrapers and foreigners. They suffer from a serious second city complex, and they used to be a very traditional city, but since they got heavily bombed during the World War II, they had to rebuild the city from scratch, so it basically became modernized as a whole. But still, you could spot some of that good old architecture in the city. If you didn't know already, they're the arch enemy of Amsterdam. The people are working class, sober, very direct, and all of them work in the harbor, and work would always be their number one priority. And it's one of those love it or hate it cities. As I told you, there are lots of foreigners, so at places you might not even hear anyone speak Dutch. About the crime, it's higher than most cities in the country, but compared to the rest of Europe, it's basically nothing. I mean, not all the neighborhoods are nice, but it isn't like the Brazilian favelas either. All in all, I like the city, and if we don't count those punk-ass hooligans, the people are alright. The city of Leiden is like the frat boy city. It's filled with crazy beer-drinking young people who have posh accents and are really full of themselves. And the city is really underrated in my opinion. And finally, Delft is like Leiden, but there are only men and nerds.
Only men and nerds, okay. Almost all of my teachers back at The Hague were from Leiden or Delft.
Are three types of people from Groningen. 1.
Groningen.
Communist
Groningen.
farmers whose houses are damaged by earthquakes. 2. People from the city of Groningen who are more urban than they would like to admit. And 3. The wildest and most misbehaved university students in the country. The province is considered one of the poorest regions of the Netherlands, and there ain't much of an industry or tourism going on. People from Groningen are also known to really hate Friesland.
I'm so sorry.
They actually share some historical ties, but don't tell them that. Now, why do they hate them? Well, they hate the Frisians because of how proud they are of their language and stuff, and also make fun of Drenthe for obvious reasons. But all three of these northern provinces unite to roast anyone from Randstad. Lots of people from this province move out to Germany, and whenever something bad happens to them, they're like, could have been worse. I personally really like the province, but a lot of people say that it's too far away from the major cities, so it's kind of off the radar. But like any other province, these are just the stereotypes. So of course they're not all grumpy communist farmers and conspiracy theorists with incomprehensible accents who live in a wasteland. The capital city Groningen is famous for its awesome nightlife because, as I said, there are students there. The city has the only major university in the northern Netherlands, and the people from there are either local giant blondes who are really straightforward with a down-to-earth attitude, or there's some international students who could be from anywhere in the world. The city is like a large village but with a cosmopolitan mentality, and it's very friendly.
Overijssel. Oh my god, I forgot about Overijssel. I'm sorry, Overijssel.
You to name 12 provinces and you name 11 of them, and you have no clue which one you have forgotten, most likely that one is Overijssel. Wow.
Yes, I was like, wait, I'm forgetting about Overijssel. I also remember in elementary school, Overijssel was like the one that I kept forgetting where it was when I had to learn geography.
You guys have internet here? I didn't know you existed. Overijssel is filled with calm and traditional folks who are more religious and conservative than most other provinces. The average person from Overijssel is a farmer who works really hard, also parties really hard, loves drinking beer, and owns a moped. When they ask someone if they want to see their moped, it means that they want to get intimate with that person.
Wait, what?
So always say no. Do you want to see my moped?
No.
I just wanted to show you my new stickers.
Oh my god, One Piece stickers!
The people are basically backup Germans who love to claim that they're Dutch, but in reality,
Backup Germans, backup Brabanders.
they're the most German out of all eastern provinces. The province is filled with gorgeous little towns.
That is pretty.
Is called the Little Venice. The province could be a little boring if you're used to living in big cities. Otherwise, it's great if you want to have a calm and chill lifestyle. The capital city, Zwolle, is one of the fastest growing cities in the country with a beautiful and old city center. They say that the city feels like a big village, so expect to see lots of grannies. And they have a strong rivalry with Kampen since like the Middle Ages. They're also famous for the high quality restaurants. And since everything is 15 minutes away from you, you could go everywhere by bike.
Utrecht.
Utrecht is the smallest province in the Netherlands. It has everything that the rest of the country has all together, and it's located right in the heart of the country. So it's important both economically as well as academically. The place is filled with hipsters.
I also like to, because I've moved around a lot, Utrecht is usually the place that I meet up with people, because then everyone has to kind of travel the same amount of time, so no one has to travel like a very long time, you know?
And lots of upper middle class white families who ride cargo bikes, live in expensive areas, and eat only organic foods. Also, some Moroccans. The province has one of the busiest train stations in the country, and the Dam Tower. Not dumb, but dumb. They have canals, not that many tourists, and lots of students. The average person there is a student who drinks a lot and basically lives in a
Everywhere drink.
coffee shop. They also like getting a coffee while sitting along the city canals.
I mean who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
Coffee this time though. And think about how they're gonna pay their student debts. Afterwards, they get wasted and walk home alone at 11 p.m. P.S. They're not gonna be robbed or worse walking home alone at night. Why, you ask? Because everyone is wasted at that hour. So yeah, the student culture is quite dominant in the city. In Utrecht, it's better if you learn Dutch, because English only is not gonna cut it for long. I'd also like to describe this city as a village with city rights. And check out this cool looking cathedral.
Zeeland.
Zeeland. They're stereotyped to be cheap, hardworking, sober people who are super religious and all have at least like 7 siblings. About the sober thing, it's true. The only drunks in this province are the Randstad people who go there to blow off some steam. Do you remember that I told you Flevoland?
Never mind, I lied. So there is a place where they don't drink.
Oh, Zeeland people are the first potential victims of being swallowed by the sea. Yeah, they have suffered so many floods that they have managed to evolve gills. What the hell is this guy talking about? We have built dams, and it's safe now. They're part of the Dutch Bible Belt, especially the eastern part of the province, alongside with these guys. Here's the average day of someone from Zeeland. They wake up and eat a ton of mussels, oysters, and clams, then shower in holy water and go to the church. They go there like 3 times a day or so. After the church, they make some comments about their non-religious neighbor and discuss which level of hell she belongs to, and then go to sleep. The people are also a stereotype as stubborn folks who disapprove of anything modern. Son, look at that guy driving his car on a Sunday. Just like that steak leftover in your hand, your ass is gonna be well done by the flames of hell. But in Zeeland, people are more relaxed compared to the rest of the country. Maybe because they're all old and introverted. For jobs, they all sell fishes, and during the summer, the province gets raided by Germans and Belgians. The capital city, Middelburg, is filled with students and tourists, and it feels just like a large village. And there are not many people on the streets,
I also find
so
this
if you stay
pretty.
quiet enough, you could hear this sound. Aren't you hearing it? Listen carefully this time.
The silence? Oh, thank you for watching. No, thank you. Hi! If you like the video, please make sure that you like it and subscribe to my channel and turn on notification bell if you want to see more of it. I also go live on Twitch and on this YouTube channel, so come join us sometimes. Bye!